Hello, Flutie friends. So today we're going to talk about G flat major and E flat minor. I know, the bane of all of our existence. So first and foremost, we're going to take a look at our circle of fifths here and notice that G flat minor, also known as, G flat major, also known as F sharp major, and harmonics right there, is down at the bottom of the circle, which means that it has the most flats and sharps. I know, I'm so sorry. But here we are. We're gonna do it, and we are gonna be awesome at it, right? So in G flat major, we're gonna look at this from the flat side just because flutes and other wind instruments tend to like to lean towards the flat side of things. That's okay, but if you wanna think of this from the sharp side, you certainly can. So from the flat side, we have B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, and C flat. All right, so those last two are a little tricky. So we're gonna talk about the N. So our C flat, the N harmonic for C flat is B natural. And then the N harmonic for G flat is F sharp. So it's a little quirky, but we've got this. And then of course the relative minor to G flat major is E flat minor. So basically we're just starting the scale. We're starting your G flat major scale on E minor. Perfect. All right, let's play it. So we're gonna play it very slow. If you would like to try to play along with me, fantastic. If you just wanna listen, that is okay too. So G flat major. Slower. Beautiful. So now we have our E flat minor scale. So again, we are starting on E flat, but we are in the exact same key signature. That is what a relative minor is. It is the relative, right? It has this, they share a key signature, they share DNA, they share a key signature, and but it is starting on a different note. There's our E flat natural minor. Now what do we do to make a harmonic minor? So to make it a harmonic minor, we are raising the seventh. So our seventh scale degree in E flat major, in E flat minor, is D flat. Perfect. So we are raising it by a half step to D. Now to the melodic minor, right? So we raise our sixth and seventh by a half step, and then we go back to the natural minor on the way down. So our sixth scale degree is C flat. So we're going to raise it by a half step so that it will be a C. Notice how it sounded different on the way down. Once again, we go back to the natural minor on the way back down when we are playing the melodic minor. So of course you can practice your scales in 1 or 2 octaves, even in 3 octaves if you want to get crazy with the E flat minor. That is certainly not a requirement. And that would be for really, really advanced students that are working on that altissimo register. But then you can also do other exercises such as Trevor Wise scale exercises that go through each scale and work through all of those things and work through all of those fingerings individually, right? He'll do in groups of 4. It's hard, but incredibly awesome. Scale books that you can work out of would be Paris Scales with lots of fantastic exercises. Also, Mel Bay's indispensable scales, exercises, and etudes for the flute. Each page is dedicated to a major and minor scale pair, and that is fantastic. So a great way to work on your scales. Also, Taffanel and Gobert for my more advanced fluties. You know what I'm talking about, Taffanel and Gobert. And also the Reichert Daily Exercise number 1, which is going to run you through your major and minor scales. And then, of course, we can work on neighbor tones, right? We talked about this with the C major scale. Right? Okay, and you can do them the opposite way as well. Right, up and down, and then you can also do your scales and thirds. Perfect. So there are lots of different ways that we can practice our scales to make them interesting and fun and to build our skills, right? Because all repertoire is scales in different patterns, right? So if we know our scales really, really, really well, then sight reading, improvising, and playing with any sort of ensemble and also our solos are going to be that much easier. So I highly recommend taking some time to practice scales every single day. Some of my students, what they will do is every day that they go to practice, they will pick a different scale to spend 5 minutes on or 3 minutes on or whatever works for your budgeted time allowance, right? But we do want to spend some time. Other students of mine will run all of their scales at the beginning of their practice session or their lesson. That works great too. If you're struggling with a particular scale, like G flat major, for instance, I would highly recommend taking a little bit of time to work on that particular scale. That way you're able to really get it rather than just running through it. It's kind of like running through the motions of repertoire or of long tones. So instead of doing that, we spend a little bit of very conscious time on that particular scale, trying to make sure that we get it right. We increase the tempo, all of that good stuff. Again, Paris Scales is great. Mel Bay's indispensable scales and scales exercises and etudes for the flute is fantastic. Taffanel and Gobert exercises, Reichert exercises, and as always, the Trevor Y scales exercises and technique exercises are going to be fabulous for that. I will link all of those in the description below so that you can easily get to them. And of course, if you ever have any questions, drop them into the comments. I want to answer your questions. I love hearing that. Teaching is my life. It is my favorite thing in the world to do. So you let me know if you have questions. And finally, if you do love flute content, make sure that you give this video a thumbs up and give my channel a follow, Tattooed Flute Teacher, on all platforms. I love, love, love doing these kind of videos and deeper dives into individual scales as well as individual flute techniques, harmonics, long tones, all that good stuff in ways that you can be an incredible flutist with a mindset to match. So I will see you next time. Bye.